Good morning. Welcome to Multiplying Talents. So a question was asked, can poverty be a stronghold in people's lives? Absolutely. That's one of the main strongholds people don't realize, because it's usually operating right within their own minds and their own habits. So Psalms 14 says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. What is a fool? This fool in Psalms 14 is characterized as being senseless, acting contrary to God's ways, often characterized by arrogance, irreverence, and a lack of discernment. So lacking wisdom or spiritual insight is what a fool is described as here in Psalm 14. So from my own experience, there's two type of people that falls into this category. It's atheists, people who say there is no God and their actions actually reflects it. And so, atheists, they'll go to the extreme of listening to satanic music or just doing hateful things towards God, to prove that God doesn't exist, to basically prove their mindset, whatever they say in their mind, basically God doesn't exist. They go to the extremes to prove that, because that's their belief. And I've seen this firsthand, and that's a reality. But the other person that falls into this category, the fool has said in his heart that there is no God, is so-called believers. I believe some believers can fall into this, and the reason being is you may have believers who they go to church, they claim to be believers, you know what I'm saying, they say they believe, but there's no victory in their life. It's always the same thing, time and time again, back to back, over and over. They're always going through the same struggle. So it could be the person who is struggling with, different sins, different habits, whether it's drinking alcohol or fornicating, and they just keep, indulging in that thing, although they see the damage, it's causing on their life. They see the turmoil it's causing inside of their life. They keep going back to it. And again, the reason why I would say such a person fall into this category is because how the fool is described in Psalm 14, lacking wisdom or spiritual insight, arrogance, irreverence, and a lack of discernment. If you see something continuing to cause you to fail, continuing to cause you to be in a worse situation, why would you keep doing it? And God has given us instructions to follow as to get success in these areas. So that's the main two right on the surface poverty mindsets I see. And at the end of the day, if you can't get past this part, well, it's going to be definitely difficult to get to the next level. I mean, without believing in God, believing in the Lord Jesus Christ, you lack true identity. A person would lack true identity. And so that brings me to my next point in this topic. So most people, and this gonna fall into poverty in the area of mindset as well. Most people hate their jobs. That's so obvious, right? Why do most people hate their jobs? Well, because it's not their purpose. Okay, so that's understandable. It's not their purpose. It's not something they created. It's not something they built, and so therefore they don't care about it. And it's so obvious. I mean, every place I've ever worked, I picked this up. Most people hate their jobs. They don't want to be there. Although the job is paying them to be there, they don't want to be there. They would rather be doing something else. And therefore, because the job is not their purpose, they didn't build it. It doesn't bring fulfillment to them. and which makes sense. It's not the fulfillment Jesus Christ intended. Jesus Christ intends for his creation to be fulfilled, but that's usually through the purposes he had for us. But if we don't believe in God, or if we say God doesn't exist, well, how can we even get to the point of believing in Jesus Christ? So therefore, number one, believing in God is the number one poverty mindset. No doubt about it. However, when we come to this next part, people hating their jobs, don't want to be there. And yet, so instead of, seeking their purpose outside of working hours of the job that they don't like, that they don't want to be at, they waste their time paying attention to other people's purposes. Well, what are those other people's purposes? Anywhere from, listen to music, paying attention to celebrities, rappers, singers, actors, pastors, politicians, sports players, etc. This usually leads to belief in success for others rather than success for themselves. So you have people who will work a job, hate the job they work, and outside of those working hours wouldn't be putting in time to create something of their own, but rather waste that time paying attention to others and rooting for others rather than rooting for themselves. And an example would be, so I notice a lot of guys, a lot of men are into sports. You know what I'm saying? They like sports. They like watching football, basketball, things of that nature. So guy who watch NBA, NFL sports could be a diehard fan rooting for his team. You know what I'm saying? So different people have different teams, they root for. But and they root for their specific team to win and actually believe that it will happen. So they really believe. I mean, people get into fights over this stuff and everything. So they spend time watching sports instead of building their own business while not at someone else's job that they hate. Hence, belief in someone else's success and not their own. That's a stronghold. That's a stronghold. That's an obvious stronghold to me. And so this, of course, strong, poverty, that'll lead to poverty, because here it is, you're somewhere where you don't want to be in life, but yet instead of working towards where you would like to be in life, you just stay where you don't want to be, and you pay attention to other people succeeding in life, and you root for other people succeeding in life rather than rooting for yourself to succeed in life. And there's nothing wrong with rooting for other people to succeed in life, but you need to be focusing on you. I've seen where, people be having conversations and discussions about celebrities, people who's famous, and they know all kind of stuff about these people. They know all kind of stuff about these people. And you ask them a question about, well, what are you doing? What is it that you want to do, that you would like to do in life? And just dumbfounded. Like they don't have a clue. And that's because instead of spending time focusing and paying attention to their own life and purpose, they're paying attention to other people's lives and purposes. And that is a mindset of poverty, because these other people are doing just fine, spiritually speaking, you can't say that, but financially, yeah, you can see that. And but honestly, I think when a person don't believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and a person don't receive the instruction from the Lord Jesus Christ, well, there's no purpose for that person. And therefore, well, if you're not believing in God and getting instruction from God, well, guess what? You're going to be believing in man and getting instruction from man. And the two just don't compare. Man is imperfect, man can give grace and mercy, but only through the extension of God, only through the extension of Christ. So I do understand why most people hate their jobs, and why most people, don't find fulfillment in their jobs and things of that nature. However, it's that poverty mindset as to why people not seeking their purpose outside of those situations that they don't care to be in or don't like to be in. So, this just from my point of view. To the question that was asked, does poverty cause strongholds in people's life? Absolutely, it does. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Hopefully you got some value out of it, and be blessed until next time. I'll see you later.